Hello, this is the Cobra M40CVX, which is a 16-inch push mower, and this is how it arrives with you in this strong cardboard box. So what we're going to do is take it out of the box, and I'm going to show you exactly how to put it together and just how easy it is so that you can start mowing your lawn. Well, here we have it now laid out of the box, so everything you need is on the table to be able to mow your lawn. So we've got the mower here, and we've got a little bit of assembly to do. We've got some handles that go on to the handlebar assembly. That's a spark plug socket should you need it. A couple of bolts and Allen key again for fixing the handle. Cable clip, handle that we're going to use on the grass collector, oil, and the all-important manual that tells you everything you need to know. So it's got the instructions for assembly. We're going to go through them with you now, but hang on to that for future reference. But we are going to start with this handle just here. What you will also need is a screwdriver with a cross head on it, and you'll also need a 13mm spanner, which we'll use in a minute, but we're going to start with this. And this is the grass collection box just here, so that will go onto the back of the mower when it's ready. But what we need to do first of all is put the carry handle on it, and this is the carry handle. Very simple. We've got a little hole there, and that just slots into that, and that with a little bit of pressure goes into position there, so you can only put it on one way. And then what we need to do, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere, is this little screw goes up into the hole. So just start that off with my finger, and that's why a short screwdriver makes this much easier. You can get your hand in, so tighten that fully. So that's nice and tight, so the handle isn't going to go anywhere now. So we can put that down there on the floor, and we don't need the screwdriver for anything else. So now we've got the handlebar assembly. So it's, as you can see, it's in two parts. So when it goes together, this is going to be the top part, and then we've got this piece here that joins onto it. So we're going to put this piece on first. I'm just going to pull that forward like that, take that out of the way, and get this one. Now what we do need to do is make sure that the cable is on the inside of it when we do it. So that is going to fasten this hole here with this hole here on this part of the red frame. So to fasten that on, we need these nuts and bolts here. So one on either side like that, and we also need the 13mm spanner and the Allen key, which is provided. So essentially what we can do is just hold that into position like that, line the holes up, and we start with the bolt going from the outside through the hole like that, and then I'm just going to hold that into place and put on the little nut there. So it's just a case of getting that into there. Just start that off to the thread. These are lock nuts, so once they're tight they won't vibrate off. And then I'm going to repeat it on this side here. So I'm just going to hold that up to get it how we need it, and then again put that on. So it's just, and then what we can do is we can tighten those up then. So that's why we need both here. So we can put the Allen key in there, and then we can get a little 13mm in and just tighten it up. So we want to get those nice and tight like that, and then repeat on this side. Sometimes it's a combination of sort of twisting them both together like that. So they're in position, and we've got there, they are hinging now on this frame. So that's those in place. Next we need these two red handles. So these are going to fix this piece onto this. So I'm just going to take them apart just to make it a little bit easier when we start. So it's essentially the red handle, which is the locking device, and then we've got a bolt and a washer. So that's what we need on that side, and then again on this side. So now it is easier if you've got somebody to help you with this section, because you need 3 hands. So I'm going to ask Gareth if he would just step in just to hold this in place. So again, at this stage, just make sure that your cable is on the inside of the frame like that. And then what we will do is can we do that one there, Gareth? So if we can just line those up, we can put our bolt through, twist the bolt because it has a curve on it that fits around. I'm just going to pop this one also in here, if I can find that, and then put my washer on there because that will just hold that. In fact, I'm just going to put this one on. I'm just going to pop that one on there so it won't spring off. And then we just twist those on like that. Okay, and we've got this curved piece around there, stops that one twisting. So curve them around. Now these are locking. So what we need to do is adjust them to the point where they're tight enough so that when you pull the handle down, it locks and holds that firm. That needs a little bit more. So I'm going to give it one more twist and then pull it. And I can feel there's a little bit of resistance on it. If I go one more, it might be too tight. So let's just try it. Yeah, I can't do that. So let's just slacken that off one more. And that's got a little bit of resistance, which holds that nice and tight there. So I'm just going to try that one on this one. I think I've probably just gone a little bit too much on that one. Yeah, one more back. And that's that. So that's holding those two together. So that is our handlebar assembly. And the idea is now we can put it into the position that we want for when we're mowing. And we've got 3 height adjustments just here. So depending how tall you are, you can adjust the handle so that it's nice and comfortable. And on the base of the handle there, we've got this other red little, almost like a switch toggle that we can twist in and out. It's sprung loaded, and we want it so that this locking piece is retracted, and the same on this side here, retracted. So then it will move over the holes, we line it up to get it to where we want, and then it's just a case of that quarter turn locks it back into position, and that holds it nice and firmly. So that essentially is the handlebar assembly put together, which only takes a few minutes. And then finally on the handlebar we've got the cable tie. So this is just to stop the cable wafting around or catching on a tree or shrub branch as you're mowing around the garden and damaging it. So that just clicks on to hold that into place like that. So that's the handlebar assembly completed. All we need to do now is get some petrol in it and some oil in it, and then we can show you how to start it so you can start mowing your lawn. So we're going to start with the oil here. So we just take the dipstick out. This is just there, so to remind you what it is. So dipstick there. You might, when you take it out, think, oh, there's actually oil on there. There is a little bit of oil on it. That's because all the engines are tested in the factory. So there is often just a residue of the oil in there. So I'm just going to wipe that. The oil here is supplied. I've got my funnel to put it in. This engine takes 400 millilitres, 0.4 of a litre. The bottle of oil that they give you is 0.6, so don't make the mistake of putting all this in, because that will potentially damage the engine. And bear in mind there might be a little bit of oil in there as well. So what I like to do, it's got graduations on there, 1 to 6, and they transfer across to this side here where we can see the oil level. So basically pour in a little bit less, dipstick to check it, and then add a bit more if you need it. It's much easier to add more than it is to take it out. So I'm going to put in what we think we need. I think we're not far off, so what I'm going to do is just let that oil run down into the bottom of the sump, get the dipstick and just try that. So clean it always first, put it in and lock it into position. It clicks into position, take it out, and there's the level there, which is where the oil is. So that's absolutely spot on. So that is good to go. So that's the oil in. And then the next thing we need is some petrol in this. We're using unleaded E10 fuel, and remember, always use fresh petrol. You don't want old stale petrol, as it will affect the running of the engine. So nice and fresh. So that goes in here, so we're just going to pour that carefully into there, and then the top firmly on. So we're fueled up, oil and petrol. So what we can do now is lift it down onto the grass, and I'll show you how to start the mower. It's all assembled now, and in a moment I'll show you how to start it and how to mow. But before that, this is the grass collection box, just to show you how it goes on, and just to point out that it's got two little protectors on the end there. They're purely for transit, to stop these damaging the packaging in transit, so they just twist off, so you don't need those at all. And if you don't take them off, you won't be able to put the box on position. So we've got here, if we lift the flap, we've got these little springs just here, and the box simply just hooks on over them like that. We close the flap, which holds it into place. So it's as easy as that, and to take it off, to empty it, we do that. When to empty it, the mower tells you, because you'll notice there's another little flap just here. When it's cut in and the grass is being blown back into the grass collection box, that airflow makes that go up and down. When that stops, that tells us that this is full and it's time to take it off and put it in the compost heap. So just a good little gizmo on there for that type of thing. So if we look around the engine, all we need to do really, we've done the fuel, we've got a little primer at the front there, so we would push the primer 3 times if the engine is cold. That gets some fuel into the carburettor. And at the top of the handle here, we've got our lever that we pull back to be able to start it. The pull start is here, this is the recoil, but we want it to be at this point so we can start it from standing up. So what I'm going to do is just pull that back, and then just very slowly and gently pull that out, not fast enough to start the engine, but just to be able to pull the cord out and hook that onto there. So we are now ready to go. So before we start it, always lift it off the grass. At the moment this is set so that it's touching the grass, so we don't want to damage the lawn. So we lift it higher to start it, and then if we want to go down a little bit lower, we can do that when we've tried it. So we're ready to go. So pull the lever back. I've already primed it, so pull the recoil and it will start. And there we go, really easy to assemble and get it ready for mowing, and it makes a great job of mowing the lawn, and it's very light, easy to push and manoeuvrable, so enjoy your Cobra mower.
Remember to register your Cobra online at cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.